The orbital research station Helix 9 floated in silence above the lavender gas clouds of planet Orion 3, its laboratories glowing with soft neon, its metallic corridors humming with the quiet breath of machines older than most civilizations. For decades, Helix 9 had been a neutral ground for scientists from dozens of species. Yet no discovery had ever shaken it the way Jack Turner, a seemingly ordinary human, soon would. Sarah Hale, senior xenophysics officer, stood beside a towering crystalline scanner shaped like a blooming star. It was a relic from the ancient Solari, a civilization that had vanished long before humanity invented fire. The device measured raw biological energy signatures, life force, potential output, metaphysical power. In 10,000 years, no living species had ever reached level red, the scanner's highest color. Sarah tapped her data pad, her voice crisp and controlled. "Jack, just place your hand on the central node. It'll take a few seconds." Jack, broad-shouldered, easy smile, the kind of man who could joke even in the vacuum of space, shrugged casually. "Sure. Hope it doesn't bite." Sarah smirked. It was built by a peaceful civilization, not a hungry one. He stepped forward, palm brushing the glowing white core. The scanner hummed, then screamed. The crystal veins inside the device blazed crimson, straight to the top of the spectrum. Sarah's eyes widened as alarms triggered throughout the chamber. "That's impossible," she breathed. "No species registers in the red band." Jack pulled his hand back. "Did I break it?" The answer arrived in the form of a violent crack. The scanner exploded outward in a burst of molten shards and photonic energy, a shockwave hurling Sarah backward. Jack moved faster than any human should have, faster than physics should have allowed, catching her midair before she collided with the containment wall. Smoke filled the air. Systems shut down one by one. Emergency lights bathed the lab in scarlet. Sarah stared at the molten ruin of the scanner. It wasn't supposed to explode. The energy input was too high. It couldn't handle your reading." Jack blinked. "I'm not radioactive, I promise." "No," she whispered. "You're something else." The council reacts. Within the hour, Helix 9's High Science Council assembled in a curved auditorium overlooking the stars. Representatives from 8 species whispered in anxious frequencies. Some clicked in fear. Some swayed in aggression. Jack waited beside Sarah at the center platform, hands in pockets, looking awkward under 1,000 alien eyes. Counselor Vathrine, a translucent being shaped like living water, spoke first. "Human Jack Turner, do you deny interacting with the Solari device?" Jack shrugged. "No, I touched it. You all saw what happened." "Precisely," hissed Counselor Stronach, a scaled titan whose claws tapped in agitation. "No species should reach red. Not even the Solari did. How did an unaugmented human overpower a relic designed to measure gods?" Jack raised his brows. "I work out?" Counselors murmured. Sarah stepped forward. "With respect, Counselor, the scanner didn't malfunction. It reacted. The red level is theoretical maximum output. Jack surpassed it. The device overloaded trying to process the reading." Stronach narrowed his eyes. "This makes the human dangerous." Sarah's expression sharpened. "Or extraordinary." The test Jack stood alone in the isolated hangar, a cavernous space shielded with lead, graviton dampeners, and telepathic barriers. Sarah watched anxiously through reinforced glass. "Just relax," she said through the comm. "We're using basic power sensors this time. No ancient relics." Jack exhaled. "Is it weird I feel like I'm about to discover I'm allergic to space or something? Just place your hand on the field generator." He did. The generator flared. The sensors screamed. Numbers skyrocketed. Level 1, overload. Level 2, critical. Level 3, system failure. The machine shorted out. Sarah pressed her hand to her mouth. "Jack." The output wasn't just energy. It was control. You pushed against the field without touching it. Like telekinesis? Like rewriting physics? Jack stared at his hand. It looked normal. Calloused knuckles, old scars, a faint burn from a welding accident. Nothing godlike, nothing red level. "Sarah," he said carefully, "I'm a mechanic. I fix engines. I drink bad station coffee. I'm not special." She shook her head. "You are the first biological being ever recorded to exceed Solari-level power metrics. Humans have always been underestimated. But this changes everything." Helix 9's betrayal. That night, Sarah returned to her quarters only to find the door forced open. Stronach and a squad of armored enforcers stood inside. Jack was nowhere in sight. Sarah's heart froze. "What have you done?" Stronach's tongue flicked. "The human is a threat. We are relocating him for containment and study. He saved my life today, and he could end thousands tomorrow." Sarah's voice trembled with fury. "Stronach, you don't understand. His output wasn't destructive, it was adaptive, protective." Stronach raised a claw. "Humans evolve through crisis. What if this one evolves again?" Sarah didn't think. She lunged. But Stronach anticipated her. A strike from his armored tail hit her ribcage. Darkness swallowed her. Jack wakes. Jack opened his eyes inside a reinforced capsule shaped like a coffin. Restraints wrapped around his arms and chest. Stronach's voice echoed from a speaker. "Human, you will remain subdued until we determine your nature." Jack sighed. "You could have just asked." He pulled at the restraints. They snapped like paper. A dozen alarms went off. A security field activated. The air shimmered with electrified force. Jack frowned. "Sarah's going to kill you for this." Then he pressed his hand against the shimmering field, and the field rippled like water, parting in the shape of his fingers. He stepped out. "Okay," he muttered. "I really hope this is just adrenaline." The power of a human Stronach was waiting for him with 20 soldiers in mechanized armor. "You should not exist," the counselor hissed. Jack cracked his neck. "I get that a lot." The soldiers opened fire, non-lethal plasma meant to paralyze. The bolts curved. They didn't miss. They redirected, bending around Jack as if the universe refused to harm him. Sarah, bruised but conscious, stumbled into the hangar just in time to see Jack step forward, unburned, unharmed, calm. Jack extended a hand toward the advancing soldiers. He didn't attack. He didn't destroy. Instead, he willed, and every weapon powered down simultaneously, their energy bleeding into harmless sparks. Sarah whispered, awe flooding her voice. "Jack, you're controlling the energy around you." He looked at her helplessly. "I don't want to hurt anyone." "I know," she said softly. And that was the difference. Humans didn't just adapt, they chose. Resolution. The council reconvened, shaken but alive. Sarah stood beside Jack, chin high. "Humans," said Vathrine, "possess potential far beyond predictions. This power could unify the galaxy, or break it." Sarah's voice was steady. "Humans rise highest not when they dominate, but when they protect. You saw how Jack used his power. He defended, never attacked." Jack looked embarrassed. "Honestly, I'd prefer to go back to fixing ships." Laughter rippled through the chamber. And for the first time in Helix 9's history, the council agreed unanimously. Humanity was no longer a minor species. They were a force the galaxy had overlooked for far too long, a force that, when awakened, burned brighter than any Solari star. Jack Turner, the human who broke the scanner, became the symbol of a truth the galaxy would never forget. Humans don't just survive, they surpass.